Okay, hello friends. Here we will discuss reduction to relational schemas. Now here we discuss how an ER schema can be represented by relational schemas or in table format, and how constraints in ER design can be mapped to constraint on a relational schemas. That means how we convert ER diagram to say table diagram in short. Okay, so first is what? Representation of strong entity set, weak entity set, composite, multi-valued and recursive entity set. Now we can see one example is there. Say employee ID, name is there. So name is what? It is a composite attribute. First name, middle name, last name. Age, it is what? It is derived attribute. Phone number, it is multi-valued attribute. Okay, manager, it is what? Recursive relationship is there. Dependents and dependent is what? It is weak entity set is there, and relationship is what? Is to 1:n. Here it should be the total. Dependent number, it is what? Partial key. Dependent name and date of birth. Now here we need one entity table for the employee, where employee ID should be the primary key. Okay, now here name is a composite key. In the table we should not put the name. Here we should put the name of these three attributes. Say first name, middle name and last name. You can see here there is no name attribute. Here we have to put first name, middle name and the last name. Are you getting this one? Next is what? Age. Now here age is what? Derived attribute, but here you have to store the date of birth, which is the stored attribute. Okay, now here we have to, after that every time we have to calculate the age by system date minus the date of birth. From that we can get the age. So for age, here you have to store the date of birth. Are you getting this one? Next is phone is what? The multi-valued attribute. Now you just see here you should not put the multi-valued attribute in employee. We have to create another table for that, where employee ID should be there and the phone number must be there. Are you getting this one? So employee ID, phone number together you have to form the key, and here employee ID is a foreign key, which is a primary key of the employee. Next we can say the managers. This is what? Recursive relationship. We need one table for the managers also. So in managers, here you have to put the employee ID and the manager ID. So here employee ID is a primary key of the employee, and manager ID is also a part of the employee ID. Are you getting this one? So but employee ID and manager ID together we can form a key for the managers. Next is what? Dependent. For dependent we need another table, where dependent number is a partial key. Okay, dependent name must be there and date of birth is there. But to form a keys, we have to take the key of the owner entity. So employee is the owner entity. Here key of the owner entity is what? Employee ID. Here we have to put the employee ID. With the help of employee ID and dependent number, we can form keys for the weak entity say dependent. Are you getting this one? Okay. Now here this particular is 1:n, so here we don't require any additional table for that. If it is m:(n), in that case we need an additional table. Now we can see representation of the relationship set. Now we can see one simple example is there. Say student, roll number, name, address are there. These are the attributes. Allotted locker. So it is 1:1. That means what? One student should have one locker. One locker should belongs to one student. And here the attributes are locker ID, locker type and rent. Now student belongs to department. Here and the relationship is what? It is n:1. That means a student must belong to one department, but department may have more than one students. Are you getting this one? So department, here the attributes are what? Department ID, it is a primary key. Department name, location, HOD. Okay, next is what? The student has phone numbers. So it is 1:n relationship is there. That means phone number must belong to one student, but a student may have more than one phone number. So it is 1:n, and here phone number is there. It may be the type of the phone number. So it is prepaid or postpaid. We can say the operator of this particular phone number, say Airtel, Vodafone and so on. And student registered subject. It is the relationship is what? m:(n). So here one student may have more than one subject registered one, and once under this one subject so many students are there. Okay, so many students are registered in a single subject. So the primary key is what? Subject ID is the primary key, subject name, credits, these are the attributes. Now same and here, these are the descriptive attributes for the relation. Now our aim is to identify how many tables are there. So it's a very interesting concept. Now you can see one by one. So first of all, we just see the entities. So 1 2 3 4 5 entities are there. So first of all, first entity is what? It is a student. So for student, the attribute should be what? Roll number should be the primary key. Okay, here you have to put the name, and assume it is a simple single and symbol. Here it is not a composite attribute like this one. Okay, and here address is there, and it is assumed it is also single and simple. Now are you getting this one? So three attributes are there. Now here address, if it is a, for example, if address is like that, already we have seen. So if it is like that, street, okay, then city, then district, okay, then pin, in that case you need 4 attributes, not the address. So you need street attribute, city attribute, district attribute, and pin attribute. Are you getting this one? In that case, address, explicitly address attribute is not required because it is a composite attribute. Okay, so roll number, name, address. Next is what? It is locker. So locker is another entity, strong entity. So for locker we need what? It is locker ID. It is a primary key. Okay, type, locker type, and the rent. Okay, so it is over. Next is what? Department. Now for department, the table should be what? Table should be department ID. It is a primary key, department name. Are you getting? And the location of this particular department. So location means in which city or in which area, okay, or the building name that we can say. Next is what? Subject. Okay, now subject is what? Here you can just put subject is a strong entity, and here you have to put the subject ID. This should be the primary key, subject name. Okay, are you getting this one? And credit. Next is what? Phone number. So for the phone number, it is what? Phone number, for that it is a phone number is a primary key. Okay, phone operator, who is the operator? Okay, and the type, prepaid or postpaid, it is a type. So 1 2 3 4 5 strong entities are there. That's it. 1 2 3 4 5 5 entities. Now we see one by one the relationship set, because our aim is to name the relationship set. So it is a locker. It is 1:1. So if it is 1:1, we have to put the foreign as a foreign key in any one of this particular table. Now here you can put the locker ID, or here you can put the roll number of this particular student. Are you getting this one? So here in this case, suppose here we put the roll number, for example. So if you put roll number here, now this roll number is a what? It is a foreign key, that is a primary key of this particular student, and together locker ID and phone number, we have to form the key, which is nothing but a compound key. Are you getting this one? So for that allotted, for this relationship allotted, we don't require any additional table. In any, now here also you can put the locker ID instead of here roll number, so that is also okay. So if you put locker ID here, in that case it is not required to put roll number in this locker table. Are you getting this one? Next is what? Belongings. Now here it is what? It is 1:1 relationship set. Now in this case remember thing, we have to put the attribute as a foreign key in an n side. N side means what? It is the student side. In student side you have to put the department ID. So in student side you have to put the department ID. So, and are you getting this one? Now here department ID is the foreign key. Okay. Now belongings. So for belongings, to establish relationship between student ID and department ID, in the n side we have to put as a foreign key, and the foreign key of the primary key of this particular department. Now you can see this one, student and phone number. In this particular case, here the n side you have to put the foreign key of that the other side of that entity. So here you have to put the roll number as a foreign key of the primary key, which is a primary key of the student roll number. So phone number, here you have to put the roll number as a foreign key, and together phone number and roll number we have to form the key. Are you getting this one? So if it is 1:1, n is to n. If it is 1:1, we have to put any one on the side. If it is n is to n, in the n side. If it is 1:n, in the n side. But if it is m is to n, in that case we need separate table. So we need separate table registered, where we have to put the primary key from both the relationship entity sets. Say for we need roll number as a foreign key, subject ID as a foreign key, and together we have to form the primary key. With the help of these two we have to form primary key. And here descriptive attributes are there, say semester and year. So here you have to put the semester and the year. Are you getting this one? Next we'll talk about the representation of generalization specialization. Now here you can see person, person ID, person name, address, date of birth is there. This is what our superclass. Okay, and is a subclasses are there, employee and student. So here employee, say date of joining, employee number, okay, qualification is there, salary is there, student roll number, fees it is there. But employee there are two types, faculty and non-teaching faculty. So here one generalization is there. So one specialization, or if you move reverse word, so generalization. And here one relationship is there with the student. So student allotted subject. That means this is applicable to the subclass also, and this relationship is also applicable to the PG and UG student. Okay, so we just see one by one. So here we need one table for the person. We need one table for the person where the attributes are person ID, person name, address and date of birth. So person ID will be the primary key. Okay, now this is what our employee. So we need one table for the employee. Now here should be what? It is employee number, which is also a primary key, which is a primary key as well as the foreign key. That means what? That means relationship is there. So it should be foreign key of this one. Okay, now you can say qualification. Okay, qualification, date of joining and salary. Okay, now here for the employee, so it is a faculty and non-teaching. Now if it is a faculty, so faculty what? It is say faculty ID, which is also a primary key and the foreign key of this, and say specialization. And if it is a non-teaching staff, okay, if it is a non-teaching staff is another table. Here we need say teaching ID, non-teaching ID, okay, and responsibility. Are you getting this one? Next, for student we need the table student. It is a table roll number. Roll number is a primary key as well as the foreign key of this person ID. Okay, so student, here we have to add say fees. Okay, or as well as we can add say, okay, fees only. Now if it is a subject, that means what? We need another table for that. Now this is what? Our subject ID. It's a primary key and the subject name. Now relationship is what? Is m is to n. So that means that here it is, we need another table for the allotted. We need allotted table where the key should be roll number. So we have to take the attribute from both the entity sets, so roll number as well as from the subject ID, and together we have to form the keys. And here say allotted, here we put the some entities, say semester attributes, semester and year. So we can put semester and the year. These are the attribute of this particular relationship set. So next is what? PG and UG is there. So for PG student, assume it is a roll number is there. It is a primary key and few attributes are there, say A1 and A2. And for UG student, roll number is there, few attributes are there, say B1 and B2. Are you getting this one? Now suppose we need to know the phone number, address, date of birth and name of this particular UG student. So how to get this one? So PG student means PG student, so we have to merge PG with the student, PG with the student and student with the person. Or similarly, suppose we need the name and address of this employee. Say employee table is there, we need the name, address, qualification, date of joining of this particular. So here we have to merge these two tables. We have to apply join operation in between these two tables. Are you getting this one? Next is what? Say representation of aggregation. Now if it is aggregation is there already you know. So for we need one table for A where A1 is the attribute, A2 is there. If it is a B, B1 is the attribute and it is B2. And if it is a C, C1 and C2. Are you getting? Now for ABC we need attribute from each and every entity set. So A bar, A1, B1 and C1. Are you getting this one? Next is D is there. So for this particular D, we need say D1 and D2. And for ABCD, so for ABCD, we need say from ABC, so A1, B1, C1 and D1. Okay. Now here ABC is nothing but relationship, but we assume we designate as it is entity set. Okay, so the name of this particular entity set is ABC, hence it is called aggregation. Next we see one simple example. Okay, you can see here how many entity sets are there here. Okay, say here this one ER diagram of a banking system. So customer, branch, okay, and employee, savings and current. Okay, so just see one by one. Next suppose it is a customer. So if it is a customer, the attributes are our customer ID, it should be the primary key. Okay, customer name. Okay, are you getting this one? Say customer address and it is so on. Now if it is a customer, next is what it is if it is a say loan. Okay, so if it is a loan, so the attribute will be what? If it is a loan, the attribute what? Loan number, it is a primary key, should be the primary key. Loan amount. Okay, now next is what? If it is a branch. Okay, this one. So if it is a branch is there, so it should be a branch ID, it should be the primary key. So branch ID should be the primary key, loan number should be the primary key, or customer ID should be the primary key. So branch ID should be there, branch name and city. Are you getting this one? Next, if it is a say loan is there, then we can say employee. So if employee is there, then the attribute will be what? Employee number, it should be the primary key, employee name, okay, and say date of joining and phone number. It is a simple attribute here, date of employment, and it is what? Employment length. So definitely we can get employment length from the date of joining. Okay, so system date minus date of joining will be what? Employee name. Now here it is dependent name. It is what? It is a derived attribute. Now we'll talk for later. Okay, so this one is over. So next is what? Account attribute is there. So here it is account, strong entity. So account number, it is a primary key, and balance. Okay, so balance is not a. Next is what? So how many strong entity sets are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 strong entities are there. Next we discuss about this one, say composite attribute and multiplied attribute. Now there is no composite attribute, but one multiplied attribute is there, that is dependent name. So we need another table for the dependent name. So here you have to put the primary key of the employee, that is what? Employee number, and dependent name is a partial key. Okay, so it is a partial key and together we form a key. So for multiplied attribute we need another table. Now, after that, we just see the relationship set. So we just see one by one. So first relationship set, say it is a customer banker. Now if it is 1:n relationship is there. So that means what, one employee, under one employee, so many customers are there, but but particular customer, there must be one employee. So in that n side, we have to put the attribute set. So we have to put the key, foreign key. In the inside we have to put the employee number. Okay, so in customer table we have to put the employee number. So here I have to write employee number. So here employee number is what, it should be the foreign key. Okay, and here this employee number is nothing but a primary key of this employee. So we can establish relationship between customer and the employee using this particular employee number. Are you getting this one? Next is what? Next relationship, this one is over. Next relationship is what? It is say bank borrower. So it is m is to n. So that means here we need another table. So for borrower, we need another table. Because it is m is to n. So here I have to put the keys from both the relationship sets, both the entity sets. Okay. Now here we need customer ID. Okay. And the loan number. Are you getting this one? Next, borrower is over. Next is what? Say balance. Okay, bank and loan, branch and loan. So BL means what? Branch and loan. So for branch and loan, we have to put the inside we have to put the branch ID as a foreign key. So in the loan side, in the loan part, we have to put the branch ID. Are you getting this one? That particular branch ID. So this branch ID is what? It is nothing but our this primary key of this particular branch ID. So this is nothing but our foreign key. Are you getting this one? So with the help of this, we establish a relationship between branch and loan. So this is nothing but BL. In the N side, that is in the loan side here. Okay, loan side we have put the foreign key. Next was what? Account branch. In account branch, in inside you have to put the in account here ACC. Here put the branch ID. Okay, as a foreign key. Here you have to put the branch ID. This branch ID is what? It is a foreign key. Okay, so this branch ID is what? It is a foreign key. So with the help of this, we can get this one. So we can solve this particular relationship. Next is depositor. So it is m is to n. So we need another table for that. So we need depositor where customer ID is there and account number must be there. Okay, and both together we can form the keys. So for this depositor we need the attribute. Now works for, here it is what? It is 1 is to n. So here we need works for another table for recursive. Works for, okay. So here we can put the employee number and say manager ID. Okay, manager ID. So employee number and manager both are foreign key. Both are foreign key. Oh, okay. So that we have to take from this particular employee table. Are you getting this one? So depositor, borrower, branch loan, account. Now next word payment. Okay. So here it is what? It is a weak entity set. Say maybe the payment number is there. It is a partial key. Okay. And here, sorry, this is not the partial key. See, dependent name. Sorry, it is not a partial key because it is multi-valued. Partial key is used in only the weak entity set. And say amount. Okay. Payment amount and say date. So for payment we need another table. So it is a weak entity set. So we need payment. Here partial key is what? It is payment number. It is a partial key, amount and date. Now to form a key, there must be a owner entity set. For the weak entity sets, we have to take one attribute from the primary key of the owner entity set. So primary key of the owner set is what? Is loan number. So here we have to put the loan number also. So together loan number and phone, we have to form the key. Okay, and here it is. It should be 1 to n. So definitely in the n side we have to put the loan number. Okay, loan number. And next the remaining part is what? This what? Generalization is there, saving and current. Now for saving we need the table. So here it is what? Account number should be the primary key and here I have to write interest rate. Next, current, we need another table for current account. So it is what? Account number, it is a primary key, and here it is overdraft value. In this particular example, we can see two A/B relationships are there. So this one, okay, one, so you can say one M/N relationship is there, and one more M/N, this is what 2. So we need tables for only these two. We don't require additional table for 1:n, 1:n, okay, n:1, and so on. So 2 M/n, one recursive relation. See, this is what our recursive relation is there. One recursive relationship is there, and we can see 5 strong entity are there. So strong entity 1, strong entity 2, strong entity 3, strong entity 4, okay, same strong entity 5. So 5 strong entities are there, 1 weak entity is there. So that means what? 1 weak entity is there. This one is a weak entity, so 1 weak entity is there, okay. 1 weak entity, 2 sub entities are there. This is what? Sub entities are there, subclass are there, 2 sub entities are there, this one and this one, okay, and 1 multi-valued is there. Here it is 1 multi-valued is there. So that means what? 5 plus 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tables must be there, okay. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so in this way we can identify number of relational, okay, number of tables present in this particular ER model. And that is the end of this particular video. Thank you very much.